Sure, you can use any bag you want as a bug out bag. You can use a regular backpack. You can use a reusable grocery store bag, or you can have an actual military tactical bag, or what they call a greyman's bag. Any bag can actually be used for a bug out bag. But the question is, with those other bags, will you survive? Having a bug out bag is 100% crucial in order to survive in any type of emergency. Whether it's a day, 3 days, a week, a month, you need to be prepared, and the type of bag and the features that that bag has can actually make or break your survival. Make or break whether you are able to stay mobile, how long you can stay mobile, how long you can survive. So today I'm going to show you my bug out bag, the features that it has and the features that you need to look for in a bug out bag. But the first thing I want to say is, don't look at your bug out bag as, oh, grab a bag and let's go. All right. When you are looking for a bug out bag, whether it's online, in the store, think investment. Your bug out bag is an investment. It is an investment in your life. And it's not just a bag that you're going to fill with a bunch of junk and then, God forbid, but something happens to you, you toss it or it just gets donated to the Goodwill. Your bug out bag is an investment, and it should be passed down, because the things that you have in your bug out bag should be things that can last a lifetime and be valuable to the next person. So my personal bag is a military style bug out bag. Now, right now, my bag is completely empty. First thing you need to look for in a bag is the size of the bag. All right. Most bags, it's recommended that they be between 30 and 40 liters, because that can hold enough items for 72 hours, which is the general time frame that most people that are bugging out take into consideration and want to make sure they've got enough for 72 hours. But the first thing you need to think about when you're looking at bug out bags, and I don't think a lot of people think about this, but you need to take into consideration, where are you going to bug out to? All right. You will hear people say, oh, I need a gray man's bag because I want to fit in. I want to hide in the midst of it. The recommended colors for bags are typically black, gray, olive green, and tan, because tan is an earth tone. Olive green is an earth tone, or the camouflage, where it does kind of blend in. But think, where are you going to bug out to? Have you thought long-term already? And maybe you have a house, a room, a shed, a shack, or whatever, somewhere on some obscure land that, you know, if anything happens, I'm just going over there to my little place. Okay. If you have that, then you should be stocking that place. And you shouldn't need any more things in your bug out bag than what it will take to get you there. If it's 20 minutes away, if it's 3 days away, you'll know where it is, and you'll know what you need to survive to get there. Even if you have to survive walking most of the time, hitching a ride, getting a ride, catching the bus, whatever, or just driving. All right. You have to decide where you're going to bug out. Now, say you don't have that place. You know what? I just go camp out in the woods till it's over with. Let me tell you something. Personally, I am not going to camp out in the woods. You need to take that into consideration. I don't need the same gear in my bug out bag. I don't need the same features in my bug out bag that someone else would need if they go into the woods. I don't need a camping stove. I'm not going to the woods. I will stay right where I am and let whatever happens, happens. All right. I barely go out in my garden. And if those of you all don't know, I am called the Scaredy Cat Gardener. That's my gardening channel. All right. I'm not going. I named my channel that for a reason. If it moves, I'm afraid of it. As long as it's not a human, I ain't afraid of them. But bugs, creatures, features, things, creepy, no. So in my bug out bag, I said all that to say, in my bug out bag, I don't need a camping stove. Okay. I don't need things that I would need if I was out in the wilderness. I don't need a guide to show me how to forage. I'm not foraging. All right. If I got water, is the only thing I would forage for. All right. I'm not foraging for any food. I can survive off of water long term. I already know that. So decide if you're just going to go to a shelter in your area. If you're just going to walk and keep walking until, decide where you And if you have a family where you and your family are going to go, that's going to determine the type of bag that you need. And if you have a family, you need, if you got a husband, a wife, and 4 kids, that's 6 people, you need 6 bug-out bags. They are an investment. If you need to save up to get it, save up to get it. They are an investment. Every child that can carry a bag needs a bag. And what you're going to look for in their bag is going to be the same thing you look for in your bag, but it's going to be according to their weight, their size, and their height. And that brings me to weight. A loaded bug out bag, okay? My bag is empty. A loaded bug out bag should technically not weigh more than 25 or 30 pounds. As you carry your bag, it is going to weigh more. It is going to weigh you down, all right? So that's full, all right? Your backpack full should not weigh more than 25 to 30 pounds. How do you determine what it weighs? Once you get all your items in it and you fill it up, you get on a regular bathroom scale and record your weight. Then put your fully filled backpack on your back and get back on the scale and then do the math. Whatever that is, subtract your weight from it, and that will be the weight of your bag. Now, once you get the weight of your bag, you need to be prepared. If you are going as far as to prepare a bug out bag, you need to make sure you can carry the bug out bag. How are you going to do that? You're not going to do that unless you are in the gym every day and you're working out with weights and you know what you can carry. Then you need to carry the bag. And let me tell you something. I don't care if you Mr. or Mrs. Buff working out in the gym and lifting. I don't care if you can lift 100 pounds. Lifting 100 pounds and carrying a backpack that has 50 pounds or 100 pounds on your back just because you can lift it is a whole different ball game. Because as you carry the backpack, it's going to get heavier and heavier and heavier. Therefore, you need practice. You've got to fill your backpack and wear it. If you don't want to wear your backpack down the street or something like that, because personally, I don't want to walk down the street in my backpack, okay? Not just on every day. Therefore, I do walk every single day. And every single day that I walk, I wear my weighted vest. Now, when I'm walking with my weighted vest, for me, my weight, my height, my vest is only 12 pounds. When I first started wearing it, to be honest, I thought I was going to die. I'm like, oh my God, I got to go back and put this thing up. But I didn't. I kept it on and I kept going. I've been wearing it for about 30 days. And I'm just telling you this to give you a timeline that it don't take long. I've been wearing this vest for 30 days and now it feels like my body. So now I typically walk 1 hour, 3 miles a day, every day. Sometimes 4. I have walked 6 with my weighted vest on. Okay. Now that I can walk 3 miles in an hour with my weighted vest on, it's time for me to up that. I need to walk 4 and 5 miles. All right. Because it's either that or get a heavier vest. Okay. Because that's only half of my 25 to 30 pounds. All right. And it's just like when you're working out and you're lifting weights. Once you reach the weight where it's comfortable for you, it's easy for you, you have a choice. If you want to continue to gain muscle, you can either go to a higher weight or do more reps. So in my case with this, I'm going to walk longer. Okay, I'm going to walk longer and I'm going to walk a little faster. All right, I need to get to the point where I know I can carry my backpack. And personally, I want to carry my backpack at 50 pounds. All right, if I can carry my backpack at 50 pounds and it's lighter, then I know I'll be okay. And I want to do it for miles. My minimum is 5 miles, minimum. Okay, all right, before I feel like, okay, I got to take this backpack off and take a rest. Okay, so as I mentioned, there's tactical backpacks, which this is one. And then there's the Discreet, aka greyman backpack. I chose the tactical backpack for multiple reasons. One, it has multiple compartments on it. And each one of these compartments here, they detach, all right? They detach, and they detach meaning you can take them off. And if I need to, I can take them off and ditch them if I have to, if I need to keep moving, all right? I'm not stuck with just this one big bag, all right? This is another reason why I bought it. This actually goes around your waist. You can carry it around your waist. You can carry it over here, whatever. And I can attach these bags with it and wear it as a fanny pack around my waist, leaving that bag, taking some of the weight off of that bag and having it on my waist as opposed to having it all on my shoulders. Okay. Now I don't have this tightened to the right thing. And so I would actually put both of the straps through here You see this? You see how this is? All right, so now it's on my waist. I still got my backpack on my back, but it's taken some of the weight off of my back and it's distributed around my waist and I can carry more things. All of these pouches that you see on here come off, all right, which gives me even more. Also, if necessary, and I had to ditch the big bag, I can take whatever I really need, if it was meds or whatever, and I could go for it if I had to. All right. It gives me multiple options. That's what's called the modular system. It allows you to attach multiple bags, multiple size bags in multiple ways. I can put them all on my backpack and this is good to go. Or if you saw, I can put them on my waist. You also need your regular backpack to have lots of compartments specifically. Okay. So we have our big compartment here, which also has a compartment for hydration. This pocket in here that you see in here, this right here, that's hydration. And you would put the holes to the hydration pack through here. This lifts up and there's a hole in there, okay? It comes through there, allowing me to have a hydration pack where I don't have to carry a bunch of bottles, a bunch of water bottles, all right? And you see this pocket right here, the front of it? It just looks like the front of my bag, right? It's actually a hidden compartment. Not only is this good for your cell phone, your ID, your passport, or anything else very valuable that you need to have on you at all times, it also provides for easy access where you can get into it in a matter of seconds if necessary. The hip belt was what I just showed you. You also need what's called a sternum strap. So that when you put it on, you can fasten your straps across your chest so that they won't keep slipping off. Not only do you need this, you also want to have one around the bottom part. And then fasten them according to, your fit. This distributes the weight evenly. I can't stress this enough. You are seriously hands-free because if you are bugging out, you may be running out. You never know when you're going to have to really run, all right? So you don't want to have to, oh, my thing is coming loose. You don't want to do any of that. You want to feel comfortable with your backpack on. Another thing, everybody is made differently. So you have to get the backpack to fit you the way it's comfortable to you. Mine comes right here, and that's comfortable for me. Someone else may need a shorter one. Someone else might want a longer one, okay? It fits for me, and it's very, very comfortable, all right? The next thing you have is to make sure your straps are padded, okay? And that there's padding in the back. If you have to wear your backpack a long time, you're already going to be stressed probably, but you need comfort, all right? So you need that. All these little hooks you see on here allows me to hook other things on here. Also, the backpack, this on mine, this right here, this one and this one, these are Velcro, meaning I can Velcro some of those other bags or something else I need to it. Likewise, each one of these, you want to look for backpacks that have these multiple loops, okay? These loops right here. That allows you to hang things from it, connect things to it, put a scarf through it, put whatever through it. Also, well padded and constructed backpacks prevent chafing with sweating and even weight distribution. All right. Even when it comes around here, I've got pockets that I can put things in. Personally, I wanted a backpack that had multiple pockets. All right. Let me decide what I want to put in my pockets if I even want to use the pockets. All right. Make sure you have a hook up here so that if you have an opportunity to hang it up somewhere, you can hang it up. And then make sure it is durable. Okay. My bag is tear resistant and it is waterproof. So if I get caught in the rain, so be it if it gets wet. My items inside are secure. It's snow outside and it's cold and I have to sit it down in that snow. It's still going to be protected because it's waterproof. And when looking for good material, 1000D nylon is great. Check your zippers and hardware. You see, I've got good zippers on here. You want good zippers. You don't want anything flimsy where the zipper's going to separate on you. No, you need good hardware and good zippers. And a lot of people will suggest that you have something bright like blazing orange or yellow on it so that you can be seen. Personally, I would rather just have something that I can attach again to one of these attachments somewhere. I can attach it when I want to be seen. I don't want to be blazing yellow or blazing orange at all times. And I will get into everything that I have and put into my backpack. It's actually empty right now because every so often, typically 2 to 3 times a year, I empty it out and I redo it. Why do I do that? Because my needs change. You can't fix up a bug out bag and expect it to be the same, all right? But I will be showing you when I'm getting ready to fill it back up, all right? And another reason why, if you have your backpack set for summer, your needs will probably be different than in the winter because you might need something heavier to wear if you have a change of clothes. And I'm going to show you how to keep that change of clothes lightweight in your backpack as well. Picking it out, consider if you're going to be bugging out in a rural or an urban area and the climate of the area that you're in. All of those things matter, and pick the size, style, and color again for where you think you're going to bug out for. For your kids, weigh them, weigh theirs. They should have their immediate essentials in their backpack, and you should have them go out and ride your bike with your backpack on, with your survival backpack on. If you don't want to send them out with that because you may think they may lose it, or if you don't want to be out with your actual equipment, then just get a regular backpack and put some weights in it, all right? The weight of your bag, so that you won't have to actually run around with your bug out bag, because like I said, it's an investment. You have important things in there, important papers in there, and we'll get into that in a whole nother video. But if you have a bug out bag already, let me know down in the comments, did you consider some of these things when you got your bug out bag? And do you consider your bug out bag an investment? Take a second and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 500,000 subscribers. Be sure to share this out with someone you know that either needs a bug out bag or that has one. Just make sure that they have the right type. Don't forget to watch the video on the screen. And if you got anything out of this video, please leave a like. I'm Pam, and this is my POV.